China is about to embark on a flurry of diplomacy in the region. Foreign Minister Wang Yi is set to visit Vietnam tomorrow. The 6-day trip will also include Cambodia, Singapore and South Korea. Now, the mission is widely seen by observers as a direct response to recent high-level trips by American officials, as the Sino-US rivalry shows no sign of abating. Olivia Song with this report.
It's been just over 2 weeks since U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris made a high-profile visit to Singapore and Vietnam. This follows a series of trips by other senior U.S. officials to the region, as the Biden administration has been keen to strengthen ties and offer assurance to key partners, while talking about a refocus to the Indo-Pacific. All these in a bid to counter the influence of China. So observers say it's no surprise that Beijing quickly announced that Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi would be making a 6-day trip to 4 countries in the region at the invitation of his counterparts. Although analysts add this may leave Southeast Asian countries caught even more so in the middle of the China-US rivalry. And even as nations have said they do not wish to be made to pick sides, that may become increasingly difficult.
Southeast Asia is really right now, as I see it, a theater of great power competition being played out. I would say Southeast Asia countries would have to really rethink this convenient paradigm that China would be the future economically, and the United States security presence is something that is always a rock-steady source of support. And right now, Southeast Asia countries would have to consider their national interests and whether such a paradigm continues to be relevant.
These high-level visits to the region come amid America's hasty withdrawal from Afghanistan, throwing Kabul and Western allies in at the deep end. Beijing put the blame squarely on Washington, questioning its reliability as a strategic partner. Observers say China would most likely be keen to know where Southeast Asian countries stand with the U.S. after this debacle. This even as there's been skepticism over China's actions in the region. The U.S. Vice President criticized China while in Singapore and Vietnam of undermining the international rules-based order and threatening the sovereignty of nations in the disputed South China Sea. Mr. Wang, analysts say, will be hoping to counter that narrative.
He wants to visit all of these nations and remind them quite starkly about what the difference is. China can say, we are your biggest partner. We're your neighbor. We're here to stay. We can settle issues amongst ourselves. Do you really want the situation where it's India and Australia and the U.S. Trying to put pressure and create it? And I think there are real questions given what's happened in Afghanistan and Iraq. What is the U.S. commitment worth?
Apart from Southeast Asia, Mr. Wang will also visit South Korea next week, his second visit in less than a year. North Korea is likely to be the top agenda to get Pyongyang back to the discussion table on denuclearization.
You can't separate the United States' presence in South Korea from the North Korea problem. The Chinese want to ensure that the South Koreans will remain neutral in any geopolitical tension between the United States and itself, that it will not take the U.S. side. It would want to also find out what is South Korea reading on the situation in the north.
China's foreign ministry has said that Mr. Wang will discuss the COVID-19 pandemic as well as cooperation on the Belt and Road Initiative during his visit. On the economic front, analysts tell me that Mr. Wang is likely to want to provide assurances that China remains open for business. Now, this comes as China and ASEAN are each other's largest trading partners, but also as we've seen here in China, sweeping regulatory changes made in recent times to various sectors, ranging from technology to education. Olivia Xiong, CNA, Beijing.